Good morning, everybody. And the DAX is still pretty much all over the place. No real structure here, but it's kind of been like this since the beginning of December. If you look at, just look left here, kind of drifting all over the place. The trend is up. There's no two ways about that. But just looking at what's going on here with the oscillators crossed over and pointing down, with a pin bar rejection up here, and actually story of threes, but then a confirmation bar. So although the trend is up, I need to be a little bit cautious, and I'm just going to putting in this swing high here, putting in this pin bar. It's going to be fairly important today, and you can see how this pin bar lines up with this top of range here, this big rejection tail. And then I'm having this previous high here at 1700, which is also of interest. So let's just get down to some levels. And DAX is not following suit to the US market. It's still pretty much going sideways, whereas the S&P is broken out of some structure. So the question is, are we going to continue like this? And we can't get higher. So, we keep trying, but we're not going higher. So, the most logical thing would be just let the thing fall, get a cheaper price lower down, and then you should get the volumes come in buying, and which would get us going on a trend again. But it's kind of one of those weird DAX scenarios at the moment, where we are just intent on drifting sideways. Climb a bit, drift sideways, fall a bit, drift sideways, climb a bit, drift sideways. So that's kind of where we are, which makes it very difficult to select opportunities to trade. One thing is for sure, there's a fairly strong diagonal support line here, and we're at it at the moment. So when we get down to the hour, it's going to give us some fairly decisive decisions that we can do. So first things first. And it's difficult to pick the right level, so you've got to keep your level. I mean, right where prices is another tail. If you look at there's another fractal there, so it's very difficult to pick them. So the main one that you need to pay attention to is 16,984, but that could be swinging 4 or 5 points below, 4 or 5 points up, even 10 points below, 10 points up. So you've got to be very aware of that. One thing that you need to know is that you do have a crossover the moving averages, but you're in amongst the moving averages. So not really keen in picking a direction on the hour when we're looking like this. We've got a strong diagonal support below us, and we've got a strong horizontal support here at 16,938. So I would be a little bit reluctant to try and jump in short at the moment. But it is leaning towards that, so my bias is starting to lean towards sort of a break of some structure on the left here, and then a bigger move down. That bigger move, it's going to be difficult. I mean, look at all the support that we've got right in this zone where we are, and then if you just start dropping down, I mean, if I put some of these levels in, you're going to see it's not going to be plain sailing. So look at all this structure here. So anyway, ultimately we need to drop below the low of last week before even getting too excited about a bigger move to the downside. What could happen is we just drop to one of these levels lower down. I'll give them to you now, and just find some support. So let's just roll 15 minutes, and then while I'm getting my thoughts, you can hit the thumbs up button for us. Okay, let's just put that swing high in. Right, so on the 15-minute we are below all the moving averages, but we broke below. You can see the chaos here around the 150, and then we drop below it. So for me, that is an area. I'm just going to do that because that makes better sense. 16,977 and then 16,993. That would actually be my stop area. So somewhere inside there is other bits of structure there if you just look left, but that's definitely an area to pay attention to. Then you have this chart's going to be so messy by the time we finished. Then you have this bit of structure here at 16964, which looks like it's holding. So one of the ways to trade it would be, get below some structure, and this is the only bit of structure I'd be looking at for a short, 16938. So I'd want to see a break below this, and in actual fact you can drop it further to the swing low of yesterday, and that is 16922. So that's kind of the area that I would be paying attention to for a short. Now from the long side, if you draw a diagonal along there and you draw another diagonal along there, this trend of yesterday went parabolic, and often when it goes parabolic you start getting a bit of a situation brewing, because you can either drop again or you break the trend line, build a base, and then you move up to test the next trend line, pull back, and then you move up to break the trend line. So that's typically what happens. So for me, the bullish side, and bear in mind the trend is to the upside, is the reverse of what we're looking at from the short side. So I'm looking for us to get above 16964, build a base on that, and then I need us to break through 16977. That gets us above the 150, and then your take profit areas are obviously going to be 16993 and 17020 or 1700. So toss a coin, I suppose, is the way that I'd look at this. Sorry, I didn't draw the last trend line in. This was the last trend line, and you can see we've broken it. So 50-50 for me. I'm very reluctant to jump in short at the moment. There's just too much support to the left for me to actually even consider that. So the logic is it's up until it's not, and if you come to the hour, you do have a bit of a chaos. But if I just drill out the 3 hour, just look at that chaos. The trend is definitely to the upside. Look at my 3 hour oscillators as well. Diversions, that's bullish diversions, starting to group and starting to point. So I'd be very reluctant to chase shorts, and I am very reluctant to chase shorts. I would rather look to the upside. I think that's going to be the safer bet, but it's probably a situation of 55% probability up, 45% probability of down. So pretty close to a coin toss. So that's kind of my outlook for today. If you do have time and you're not working for somebody else, then get onto the 5 minute, and you can see the 5 minutes how this zone here that we've just spoken about, this is 16964 and 16970. Have a look at how that looks on the 5 minute. We've got to cross over the moving averages. We're in between them, so you don't want to be taking any trades, but the oscillators are easing off nicely. So any break through the structure and retest of this area is definitely an opportunity for a long. Okay, so anyway, that's kind of my bias, slightly to the upside, but very reluctant to take a trade either way, to be honest. Hope that helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.